thumb! Oh, God!
Wow. Aren't we lucky to have heard that original recording of a man hammering a nail into a house and hitting his thumb? A nightmare. But a real glimpse into the 1500s, of course. They weren't so different to us, were they? Hello, and welcome back to the final couplet with me, Theo Cowan. It's a big one today. It's episode 20. That means 20 episodes, 20 continuous weeks of me rattling on about Shakespeare. It's flown by, hasn't it? And I, for one, have learnt a lot, and I hope you have too. And don't worry if you're thinking, oh no, it's coming to the end. It's not. There's still 137 or 8 sonnets to go, so we're nowhere near the end. And now if you're thinking, oh no, there's too many, that's too many. Well, don't worry about that, because I don't really have anything to say about that. There's going to be a lot. Okay? So you're just going to have to buckle up. So anyway, Sonnet 20, episode 20. Here we go. Sonnet 20. A woman's face, with nature's own hand painted, hast thou the master mistress of my passion. A woman's gentle heart, but not acquainted with shifting change as is false woman's fashion. An eye more bright than theirs, less false in rolling, gilding the object whereupon it gazeth. A man in hue, all hues in his controlling, which steals men's eyes and women's souls amazeth. And for a woman wert thou first created, till nature as she wrought thee fell a doting, and by addition me of thee defeated, by adding one thing to my purpose nothing. But since she pricked thee out for women's pleasure, mine by thy love, and thy love's use their treasure. There it is. Sonnet 20. I mean, on first impressions, I'm thinking it's a bit of a woman-hating sonnet, this one. I think it's a sort of maybe the original guys rule, girls drool type vibe. But let's dive into it and actually see what it means. But I do think that is the overarching theme. So we start off with a woman's face with nature's own hand painted. So your face is like a woman's, like a nice woman's face, but you don't need to put on makeup because you're naturally good looking. So you don't need that pathetic makeup that women put on. Hast thou the master mistress of my passion? Now this is an interesting one, and one which I imagine scholars have talked over for centuries. But to me, I just think it is, you're a bit of both. You've got the masculine master energy, of a man, and also the maybe more effeminate energy of a mistress, of a woman. Bit of both, best of both worlds. Of my passion, of my love for you. A woman's gentle heart, but not acquainted with shifting change, as is false women's fashion. So you've got a nice gentle heart, like a woman's, but it's not cheating, it's not shifting change, it's not cheating like theirs. Your heart isn't cheating on anyone. It's very loyal, a loyal heart. An eye more bright than theirs, less false in rolling, gilding the object whereupon it gazeth. You have nicer eyes than a woman's. You have prettier eyes than women. But your eye doesn't go rolling around, doesn't wandering, you don't have a wandering eye. So, and then it's because gilding isn't that sort of putting gold on something? Isn't that sort of gold leaf on something, maybe? So it's then saying you don't have a wandering eye. You actually you give a lot of attention to everything. You actually make everything. You think everything's beautiful. Maybe that's it. You think you'll look at a toilet and you'll go, I'll give that my full attention. That's lovely toilet. You'll look at, sort of ugly mutt, an ugly, horrible little dog, and you'll go, no, I can see the beauty in that. That's a lovely, beautiful dog. So I think that's what he means by that one. A man in hue, all hues in his controlling. So that's, you're a man, you're a certain type of man, and you have all the hues, all the other type of people in your controlling. So you're hue, sort of colourful. You're a colourful man, but you also control all of the different colours of the world. I don't know. That doesn't sound great, but I'm sure he meant something else by that. But we'll never know, because really this is the definitive translation. Which steals men's eyes and women's souls amazeth. So you actually... Wow, so you actually... Lots of men are interested in you, and women as well. So you attract both sexes. So well done you. You take your pick. And for a woman wert thou first created, till nature as she wrought thee fell a doting, and by addition me of thee defeated, by adding one thing to my purpose nothing. Sorry, I think I had to read that whole thing to get the meaning across to you. Now here, I think Shakespeare is saying nature originally wanted to make you as a woman, did make you as a woman, and then nature got a bit carried away, all right, and gave you a penis. So originally made you a woman, then was like, oh no, I've accidentally put a penis on you. And that to Shakespeare is kind of annoying. He's like, oh no, I could have actually done with him not having a penis. I wish he'd just be a woman. Because I don't like penises, so that's a real pain. But since she pricked thee out for women's pleasure, mine by thy love and thy love's use their treasure. That's the final couplet, of course. And this, I believe, sort of continues on from nature giving the recipient of this poem a penis. Because here, I think he's saying, pricked thee, but since she pricked thee, Mother Nature pricked thee, gave you a penis, gave you a prick, for women's pleasure, I'll just be in love. I will keep my love. I love you as well, and they can love you and your penis. They can enjoy your penis, but I won't. Just to be very clear, I don't love your penis. I just love you. Right? Can I just make this very clear now? Okay, everyone. Is everyone listening? I just love you and not, I repeat, not your penis. And I can't be clearer about that. And that's Sonnet 20. I think that's a really interesting one. And listen, I was slagging Shakespeare off in the last one. I thought he was getting cocky. But this one, we're really delving into something here. Because I think that's just Shakespeare questioning whether he can love a man sexually. That is what I get from this. But he can't write that. He can't write, I love this man and everything about him, including his penis, and I want to have sex with him. He's saying, I love this man, but nature made him with a penis, so he can only be for women. I think that's really bloody interesting, actually, isn't it? I mean, I haven't heard this side of Shakespeare and his love of men be talked about much. Maybe that's because, I'm not reading all these essays about Shakespeare and stuff, but it's definitely not in the sort of public domain, isn't it? Not everyone's not talking about Shakespeare, potentially being bisexual, being gay. It's not talked about. It's definitely not talked about in school or any of that. Well, I don't know, but my school was shit, so I don't know. You tell me. Right. Let's put this sonnet to our story, shall we? And I think it's only fair to continue on from last week's story, where Shakespeare had recited Sonnet 19 to a clock tower. And that is maybe sort of him losing his mind? I don't know. Let's find out what happens next, shall we? Shakespeare finished reading Sonnet 19 to the clock tower. And guess what? The clock tower didn't respond. But Shakespeare knew this. He's not an idiot. He was reading it to time itself. And the clock just represents time, doesn't it? So Shakespeare wandered back to his house, hoping that David wouldn't get wrinkly. When Shakespeare got back home, he took off his little shoes and put on some lovely, comfy slippers, some Uggs, and he wandered up the stairs to his little writing room, and he thought, I need to write a sonnet in case something happens between me and David. I need to have a sonnet in my back pocket to pull out in case David and I get close to doing something. Okay? And so he scribbles away and writes Sonnet 20. The next day he goes into rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet at the Globe Theatre. They're on the stage now. It's just before opening night. David is reading some lines to Juliet. Here's an example of how he reads some of his lines. I, me, was what sad hours seem long. Was that my father, and went hence so fast? As you can see, he wasn't the finest actor of his generation, but that didn't matter to Shakespeare because he was so bloody gorgeous. Shakespeare used to just sit at the back of the Globe and eye up David all day. He didn't care how his lines were being said. He didn't even care if the play was going to be good. He just cared about David, and he was slowly falling in love with him. Philip, the producer, came up to him at the end of the day and went, Bill, we need to talk about David. What the hell is going on? We can't put him up in front of an audience. He'll be slaughtered. And Bill said, Philip, can I call you Phil? Phil, just look at him. The audience aren't going to give a shit if he can act or not. Look at him. He's gorgeous. In centuries' time from now, people won't care about good acting. They'll just care about good looks. Mark my words, Phil. That is all the public will care about. In the future, people would just need to walk around and look good, and everyone will love them. That's my prediction for the future of the arts. And Phil says, well, that is depressing, Shakespeare. I'm depressed by that. But if you say so, we will keep David in the play and he will perform tonight. And Shakespeare says, bloody hell, it's tonight. And they both sing, opening night, it's opening night. And a high five, shake hands, do a little spin round, slap each other on the bum. Now, the audience are entering the globe and they're raucous, they're shouting, they're drinking, they're having a great time, and they are buzzing to see Romeo and Juliet the play. They've heard a lot about it. Shakespeare's excited, everyone's excited. And Shakespeare thinks, I better go and check on David before the curtain goes up. The imaginary curtain, because of course the globe didn't have a curtain. That's very important to note. Didn't have a curtain. And Shakespeare goes up to David's dressing room and he knocks on the door and says, David, are you in there? And David says, just a second, Bill. And there's some scurrying around. And eventually, David opens the door. And he has got no trousers on. He is completely naked on his lower half. And his penis is dangling about. And Shakespeare says, David, what the hell? And David says, shh, just kiss me. And they start kissing, and it's getting crazy in there. They are making out, they're bumping into all sorts of furniture. A light smashes, a desk breaks, just breaks in two. They're kissing each other like crazy. And Shakespeare says, stop, David, get off me, get off me. Sorry, I can't do this. This is, sorry. David, please. And David says, what is it, Shakespeare? I thought you loved me. And Shakespeare says, I do love you. I do love you. And he looks down at David's penis hanging there. And he remembers his sonnet. It's in his back pocket. This sonnet will explain everything. And he pulls out Sonnet 20 from his back pocket and reads, Sonnet 20. Your face is pretty like a woman's, except it doesn't need any makeup to look good. You are the man-woman I love. You have a woman's gentle heart, but it doesn't cheat like theirs. Your eyes are nicer than theirs, and they don't go looking for hotter guys. Your eyes give beauty to everything. You're a man that attracts everything. When nature made you, she actually originally meant to make you a woman, but got a bit carried away and gave you a penis. Which is kind of annoying because I don't have a purpose for a penis. But since she gave you a penis to please women, I'll still love you, and they can use your penis. Well, I, for one, enjoyed that one. And I think Shakespeare's going through a lot at this point in his life. So I'm really interested to see what comes after this. Will there be more on this theme? I hope so, because I much prefer this to the stuff about having kids. I think this is more interesting. It's juicier. It's better. All right, until next week. Bye.